What's up, everyone? My name is Azariah, and welcome to the very first episode of Memory Cards. For those of you who are new here, this is where I create, renew, and relive personal memories to express how powerful and transformative God truly is with my own life. Before you continue watching, take a look at the prelude to get a glimpse of what to expect for this special series. Alright, without further ado, let's get started. This is episode 1 New Beginnings. I'm currently at my strongest mental state as an adult, not in the disease or disorderly type of way, but just how I handle issues overall. I stopped romanticizing women, became super focused on my research, reunited with my childhood best friend, and gave myself more attention for a change. There are many other ways I improved as well, such as finishing the entire Bible, exploring my creative side, and transitioning from a strong to intimate relationship with God. I finally started being me again, without the need to change my morals to keep a friendship alive, or constantly surround myself with the wrong crowd, whether that's through work or friends and family. Right now, I'm on my own independent journey, a journey of creation, renewal, and self reflection, where I separate myself from everyone I know for at least the next year. I say a year to at least have some space to myself, but honestly, it can easily turn to 2, 3, 5, or even 10 years if I let it. I couldn't keep living through the same patterns on repeat every day, or hang out with everyone I surrounded myself with. Not because I hated them, but because we didn't share the same ideals. I had to choose what mattered the most to me before Judgment Day. Was it following God so I can spend the rest of eternity in heaven? Or would I deny myself of that opportunity just to experience the temporary pleasures Satan provides? My decision ultimately caused me to cut off everyone and everything that distracted me from him, resulting in the disbanding, disinterest, and ghosting of past connections, which led me to the separation period. What I want is a true community of Christian friends who are in their 20s and early 30s, from every single continent, from as many diverse ethnicities as possible. No discrimination, supremacy, or closed mindedness. Discrimination and supremacy are still very prevalent in this world, whether that's judging others on the color of our skin, how much money we make, environmental conditions, or associate specific characteristics with ethnicity to satisfy our own egos. I hate surrounding myself with just one ethnicity or people who aren't open to diversity. Whenever that happens, I close myself off from meeting others unfamiliar to me and cause my soul to become more corrupt, leading me away from who God called me to be. People assume that one ethnicity has supremacy over everyone else, or that their knowledge and wisdom towers over anyone else they encounter. If anything has supremacy, it's how we center our personalities, relationships, and thoughts around God. When we understand how to truly apply His Word into our lives, they change everything we think about this world and how we live the rest of our lives. This isn't just about breaking social standards or loving others, though. It's about creating a better future with the intelligence He passes on to us. There were plenty of times in my life where I wanted to die sooner than expected, simply because of how boring and unfulfilling my life was at the time. I was tired of the same repeated conversations, same environments, and same drama every single day, and I was tired of surrounding myself with people who always found problems but never wanted to do anything to solve them. That feeling actually hasn't gone away completely though, but with the motivation I have now, this is what makes me want to continue living. We're supposed to explore this world to its fullest capacity so we can create the worlds we want to live in, not just for ourselves, but for everyone in the future as well. I want to surround myself with others who are doing just that in their own unique ways. We were made to explore so we can dream. We were made to dream so we can create. Remember this statement so that it can be etched into your mind. This is what I live by as a constant reminder for why we exist on this earth and why God continues to forgive and show us mercy in life. These ideas didn't just form out of the blue, though. There were multiple circumstances that made me change the way I perceive the world and choose the path I'm currently walking on. I'll explain everything that brought me to this point, starting from 7 months ago. If you got to know me as a friend or an acquaintance 7 months ago, you could see that I was slowly becoming a mental mess due to the culmination of issues I had inside and outside of work. I wasn't making enough money to support myself or my apartment. I was constantly surrounded by negativity, and I wasn't successful with my personal life, which resulted in multiple breakdowns, throbbing headaches, mental and spiritual depression, social distancing, and a heavily increased desire for Christian friends, all of which lasted from late February through mid-April. These combination of issues are what eventually led me to leave where I was working at the time, and even after leaving, I still carried an issue that ended up completely destroying a friendship, which was romanticizing through limerence. She was someone I used to work with, and someone who was only meant to be a friend. I was trying to build a friend group where we could truly express ourselves without judgment of others and form a Christ-centered relationship between all of us, and she was meant to be one of the first few. I had already knew by the first month of us being friends that this was going to be a platonic relationship and nothing more. That much was already clear to me. However, instead of simply respecting the desire, I let my lustful thoughts take over in the hopes of experiencing something different and take the friendship a step further so I could escape from the reality I lived in. This ultimately led to limerence and constantly bursting that personal bubble multiple times, which resulted in being blocked, never hearing from her again, and leading her even further away from God than ever. This was one of the first major reasons for why I started this journey, to atone for that sin. At that point, I couldn't even accept myself as a friend anymore, and that's when I started to question all of my past experiences with female friends and acquaintances. I started to look back at how I handled female friendships and understand my behavior towards them at every single age of my life, breaking down as many interactions as I could remember so I would understand my weaknesses. I began to remember the prayers I wrote and spoke about before, and wondered if God was using those prayers to lead me where I was now, which included both romantic relationships and platonic friendships. From everything that happened in my childhood to the 3 years I've lived as an adult, I started remembering my experiences and how I even got to this point. Whether it was through the connections I've made during my first 2 years of college or through the people I met in the 4.5 years I've been working, God was giving me the experience I needed to put my complete trust in Him. With Naomi, the huge friend group I made when I worked at Target, and even with my college friends as a freshman and sophomore, everything brought me to this moment. I tried to choose living for the world and for God just to keep my friendships alive, and in the end, I either damaged a friendship, temporarily cut ties with them, or permanently removed that connection so I could change my ways. The same applies to my childhood friends and family as well. Our relationships weren't centered around God, only with the worldly things we had in common, which led to connections fizzling out and only having rare and frequent contact. Sharing these experiences is a way for me to atone for those sins, so that I can prevent others from repeating the same mistakes I've made. These projects that I'm making are a means to an end, to end this cycle we constantly live in and completely stop being influenced by the sinful nature of this world. As I said before, I'm not sure this separation will last for just a year. It could definitely become 2 or even up to 10. It would depend on how satisfied I am with my personal progress throughout this journey. But to be honest, I'd rather spend more time in separation if it means not repeating those same mistakes again. The whole entire reason why I moved out at 18 was so I could have my own personal experiences without always having someone else to solve my own problems or tell me how to live my life. In the end, my mind was so focused on relationships, friendships, and independence that I lost sight of what it truly meant to follow God, leading me to start this journey of atonement. These have been the 3 most important years of my life, and now that I've moved back home, I can use everything that I've learned to create that intimate relationship with Him and truly focus on my purpose. 21 is where the real fun begins, a journey of complete transformation that will last for a lifetime. As I continue to make memory cards throughout this series, there are actually a lot of end goals that I have for myself, with the majority of them already being mentioned earlier in the video. These are all unique and personal to me, objectives that give me a reason to continue living. Finding my true community of close Christian friends is one of my top priorities right now. I want to find these people from every single continent in the world who are in tune with their spiritual gifts and have unique ways of applying them to their daily lives. Whether it's for personal reasons or for the benefit of others, I want to find creative and like-minded young adults who resonate with me so that my personal party can be found. Think of it as a Final Fantasy VII party, a unique group of people who all come together for one shared goal, but have gone through the fair share of personal battles and have their own reasons for why they continue to live and fight. I'll be traveling to the Caribbean, Central and South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia, and yes, even Antarctica to find these individuals and make this dream of mine a reality. What I want is exposure to every single continent so I can help end discrimination, create my own Bible study groups, and participate in Christian conferences and gatherings while also having my own spontaneous adventures and expand upon the hobbies that I already know and love while venturing into new ones. However, before I start any of that, there's someone I need to find first, a very important person who's played a crucial role in my life. I need to find the mysterious woman who I've dreamt about for the past 4 years. God's presence truly became noticeable to me when I started receiving dreams about the mysterious woman, and ever since that day, my relationship with him has only continued to grow stronger. I have a strong feeling that I'll be meeting her in February of next year, and I believe she'll be one of the first people, if not the first, to be included in this party. I have less than 5 months to prepare for that encounter, so I'll be doing everything I can to keep myself as physically, mentally, and spiritually in shape as possible. While I'm looking for her, I'm pursuing my PhDs in physics and chemistry so I can traverse the world as a professional astronomer and astrophotographer. Thanks to the influences of Super Mario Galaxy, the Final Fantasy VII Remake series, and Returnal, studying astronomy is my most favorite and unique way of glorifying God, and pursuing a career in both of those professions is how I will fulfill my purpose here on Earth, and eventually become a future astronaut. This would have actually been my senior year in college, but I ended up taking a much needed 2-year break away from everything to get more life experiences, not only for a greater desire to pursue my career, but to also understand what my weaknesses are so I can have the wife and future family I truly desire. These dreams are what I'll be using to live a purposeful life and completely escape from North America. The next episode will delve deeper into the mysterious woman and my future encounter with her. The mysterious woman was the catalyst for forming my relationship with God to where it is now, so you'll get a front row seat and experience how these dreams impacted my life, starting from the very beginning at 17 years old. This will be a very important part of my testimony, so expect the next episode to be very detailed and include extra bonus content in the near future. If you want to learn more about these special memories and even more about yours truly, go ahead and subscribe so you can be notified whenever I make new episodes for Project Memory Cards. While you're at it, check out Project Astronomical Studies to see more on my inquisitive side, where I share personal research that explores the infinite mind of God through astronomy. Check out Project Virtuous Conversations as well to see more on my spiritual side, where I use personal experiences to instill virtue and sensibility in new and seasoned Christians such as yourself. Be sure to share these videos with anyone who you believe can benefit from this as well. Creating more disciples for God means more souls we can bring into heaven, so don't hesitate to spread the word whenever you have that chance. Alright, that's going to be it for this episode of Project Memory Cards. My name is Azariah, and it's been an honor having you here, whether you're new or a returning subscriber to this channel. Until next time, bye guys.